What's love got to do with it? Christians should use things and love people, not the other way around. I think so much of our life as believers, we have choices to make. We could either make a left turn or we could make a right turn. We could either choose this thing or we could choose that thing. And I think when we look at the Bible and we look at scriptures, the scriptures give us insight and they really do give us clarity how we should live our life. And so today I want to share with you a verse taken out of Hebrews chapter 13. I'm just going to look at 5 verses, but let me read it to you this morning. Hebrews 13, beginning at verse 1, says, "Let brotherly love continue. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing some have unwittingly entertained angels. Remember the prisoners as if chained with them, those who are mistreated, since you yourselves are in the body also. Marriage is honorable among all, and the bed undefiled, but fornicators and adulterers God will judge. Let your conduct be without covetousness. Be content with such things as you have, for he himself said, I will never leave you nor forsake you." What a powerful verse taken out of the Bible. And there are a couple things that we learn here. 2 main points, I think, or 2 takeaway truths that I'd like to share with you today. The first one, number 1, is that we must have a proper attitude toward people. A proper attitude toward people. You know, even Jesus said, by this all will know that we are his disciples if we have love for one another. So we must be hospitable toward strangers. And I say that because we never really know who we're entertaining, right? I mean, the scriptures here say that we could very well be entertaining angels, right? Ministering spirits or guardian angels. So we don't know who we're entertaining on the street, at work, when we're running errands or going about our business. We must be hospitable. And I think being hospitable and being welcoming is something that Jesus would want us to do. Now, another thing, we must care for those who are in bondage. Those who are in bondage, those who we know are enslaved to the things of this world. Maybe they have an addiction to drugs or alcohol, or maybe some other struggle that they're struggling with. We must always remember that we haven't always been on this side. We all have a testimony. We all came out of a crazy life. I know I did. And so when we're talking to people and communicating with others, we must not be judgmental in that we're unrelatable to them. We must encourage them. We must share God's word with them, especially if we know that they're in bondage. And then another thing, we must respect the marriage relationship. We must respect the marriage relationship. I mean, God created marriage, and God created it to be beautiful, and the marriage bed is undefiled. So when you are in a relationship with your spouse, that's a beautiful thing. God brought you two together, and we must love each other, right? Husbands should love their wives as Christ loves the church, and wives should respect their husbands. Now, that's the first thing. We must have a proper attitude toward people. The second thing is that we must have a proper attitude toward things. Thinking about material things, right? So we must not love money. Now, some people mistakenly think that, money is evil. We must stay away from money, and money could be a bad thing. And, some people struggle with gambling and wanting more of it, or trying to win the lottery all the time. Money's not evil. People are evil. The wrong people with money could be a bad thing. The scriptures are very clear that it's the love of money that is the root of all kinds of evil. So it's not money in general that's evil, it's the love of money. And I think God could use money for good, to help the needy, to take care of your family, to pay your bills, to buy a meal for someone, to sponsor someone, or give to this ministry, or give to this person that you know is doing great things for the Lord. But with that, we must also be content with what we have. We must be content with what we have. Even Paul said, I've learned in whatever state I am to be content. So that means that whether you have a lot, whether you have a little, you should always be content and be thankful. And if you struggle with that, I would encourage you to write a list of things that you do have. Count your blessings literally and write them on a piece of paper. And you'll see that God has blessed you with more than you can even think about. And then another thing is that we must depend on God to care for our financial needs. We must trust the Lord in that. And so, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or even think. All things are possible with God. So wherever you are today, remember those two things. Remember to take care of people and have a proper perspective on the things that God has placed in your hands and in your possession. Hopefully you get a little value from that today. If this blessed your life, please make sure to share this with someone that you know or love or care about. God bless you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.